Starting us off at number 10, Madonna and Guy Ritchie. Madonna and Guy Ritchie have been divorced for over 10 years, but just because their breakup happened so long ago, that doesn't necessarily mean that their hatred towards one another has ended. The two were married for about 8 years, but their distaste for one another has lasted much longer. It seems like because Madonna was working so hard in her career that things became strained between the two of them, and the hostility began to grow. A lot of tabloids said that Madonna was walking all over Guy, and that he never had a say in anything. Whether that's 100% true or not, we may never know. But one thing's for sure, there was a lot of pent-up emotions going on over there. So coming out of their divorce, the worst of it started to come out. Guy said that his relationship with Madonna was like a soap opera, and that she was more concerned with her public image than she was with their marriage. Madonna has said that she felt like she was incarcerated during their marriage, and that Guy was nothing but a gold digger. See, what I'm seeing here is that their relationship problems had a lot to do with careers and money, and sometimes that can really break two people apart. In at 9, Naya Rivera and Big Sean. In the past, Naya Rivera was very vocal about her relationship with Big Sean. Naya felt so strongly about their breakup that she even included it in her tell-all book. Apparently, according to Naya's book, she actually found Big Sean cheating on her with Ariana Grande. She wrote a lot about their relationship in the book and shared some pretty juicy details. Big Sean obviously wasn't thrilled about being exposed like that and replied to Naya's tea spill in his song No More Interviews. He said, quote, "And you know the funny thing about it is my ex wants to write a tell-all. Effed up thing about it is that she ain't even tell-all." End quote. I mean, I don't know guys, if you're out here exposing your ex in book form and through music, there's gotta be some hate there, because no civil relationship ends with a tell-all, you know? At number 8, Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert. Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert had a pretty messy breakup, that's for sure. There was so much drama, from cheating allegations to their numerous arguments over things like travel, friendships, and even starting a family. The couple divorced in 2015, but their feud didn't stop once they signed the papers. Oh no. Their feud subsided, yes, but only to erupt a few years later. During their marriage, there was a lot of cheating allegations on both sides. Blake accused Miranda of cheating a few times, and the same with Miranda to Blake. But in 2018, when news broke about Miranda having allegedly been dating a married man, Blake came out of the shadows to say this about Miranda being the other woman. Blake said, quote, "Been taking the high road for a long time, I almost gave up, but I can finally see something on the horizon up there. Wait, could it be? Yep, it's karma." Whoa there, Blakey boy, that was a little touchy, don't you think? I mean, the shade is real over here. The sarcasm and the tone of this tweet was just a lot, so obviously, you know, there's still some animosity over here. Even though both Blake and Miranda have moved on with their lives, I guess they still have enough hate for each other to get some jabs in sometimes. At number 7, Joe Exotic. After the success of the Tiger King documentary on Netflix in 2020, Joe Exotic became something of a celebrity for a hot second. He really became more of a meme for a while, but news sources were still reporting on his life developments as though he were still any other public figure. In fact, they are still reporting on his life from time to time, especially after his ex-husband exposed him. Joe's ex-husband John Finley came forward to talk about his relationship with the now imprisoned Big Cat owner and expose his marriage to him, revealing that it was all fake. John said that his whole marriage was just for Joe's popularity, remarking that the wedding that was shown in the documentary, which showed him, Joe, and Travis Maldonado, was all, quote, basically a publicity stunt so Joe could get his own reality TV series. John has also said that he's since moved on with a woman and is trying to forget his past with Joe, which is a bit difficult for him since he is still carrying around tattoos of Joe's name, which he says will be covered up in the future. In at 6, Ed Sheeran and Ellie Goulding. Now with these two, there are conflicting stories. There's Ed's side where he says that he and Ellie were an item, and then there's Ellie's side where she's like, LOL, no dude. But basically the story goes, Ed Sheeran called Ellie out because he said that she cheated on him with Niall Horan. She was out there getting that 1D, you know? Ed sang about the whole ordeal in his song Don't, saying, quote, "I never saw him as a threat until you disappeared with him to have sex, of course." Ed did not hold back. But then Ellie was like, whoa, wait, hold up, no. And then she came out with a song of her own, On My Mind, where she said, quote, "You were talking deep like it was mad love to you. You wanted my heart, but I just liked your tattoos." Ellie did not hold back either. Ellie basically said, "We weren't a thing, I just thought you were cute." Poor Ed was heartbroken but has since said that he's forgiven Ellie for cheating. I guess we'll never really know if they were actually a real couple or not, but maybe it's for the best. Halfway through at number 5, Noah Cyrus and Lil Xan. Noah and Lil Xan broke up in 2018 and their breakup was messy to say the least. Though they were only together for a short time, their breakup was brutal and very public. It started with the cheating allegations and went on from there. Lil Xan accused Noah of cheating and Noah shut down those allegations, and then the cheating allegations were put on Lil Xan. Both parties shared their feelings on Instagram stories, and they even pulled the plug on a music video that they had made together because of the drama. There was a lot of drama on social media regarding this. Honestly, I don't know why they chose to make this breakup so public. I mean, they easily could have just said the things they did over the phone. The fact that their fans were involved in their breakup and even had receipts to share about them was just really making the situation 10 times worse. They've recently been seen together amidst the pandemic, but there's no doubt that at the time, they surely hated each other. And their fans hated them too. At number 4, Zayn Malik and Perry Edwards. Zayn and Perry had started dating in 2012 and were engaged in 2013, but things turned sour soon after, and there was some hate in the mix there. At first, when news of their split broke, there was little to no information about it other than reports that Zayn had asked Perry to move out of their house that they shared together, and that neither one of them were really talking about what happened between them. But things got heated when Zayn retweeted a tweet that said, "Retweet for Fifth Harmony's Worth It" or "Favorite for Little Mix's Black Magic." If you don't already know, Perry Edwards was part of the girl group Little Mix, so you'd think that Zayn would hit favorite and vote for his Exes music group, right? Wrongo. He retweeted. Fans immediately started the hashtag #ZaynHasNoChill. Soon enough, Perry bounced back from the breakup and said this in her song "Shout Out to My Ex" about Zayn. She said, quote, "This is a shout out to my ex, heard he in love with some other chick, hope she getting better sex, hope she ain't faking it like I did," end quote. The other chick mentioned in the song was even a reference to Gigi Hadid, Zayn's newest and current partner. Nice to see that Perry had it in her to clap back too. At number 3, Iggy Azalea and Nick Young. When you've been unfaithful to your partner, you are bound to get exposed. No one really gets away with cheating, especially these days when everyone is capturing footage on their phones, and our presence on social media also makes things difficult to hide. Back in 2016, basketball player Nick Young was exposed by one of his teammates for having cheated on his then fiancée, Iggy Azalea. D'Angelo Russell, Nick's teammate, had recorded Nick talking about how he cheated on Iggy, and the footage was leaked to the internet. This caused Iggy to postpone their wedding, but things ultimately ended a few months later after Iggy confirmed that the footage was real and further exposed her man on Twitter, saying, quote, "I broke up with Nick because I found out he brought other women into our home while I was away and caught them on security footage," end quote. This was the last straw for Iggy, but that didn't help Nick's case after it was alleged that he had gotten his ex pregnant again while still in a relationship with Iggy. All in all, it was messy, but both have since moved on. In at 2, Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. I think we're all familiar with the Jelena fiasco. We all know about their on and off relationship and the hostility there. I mean, for a couple who seem to love each other, albeit on and off, they sure do have a lot of pent-up aggression towards one another. Now, I'm not gonna get into their entire relationship turmoil because that's gonna be a 20-minute video, so let's fast forward to their shady shade after they ended things. When Justin went public with his relationship with Sofia Richie, Justin got some hate from Jelena shippers, and this started a bit of a feud between the Biebs and Selena. Selena jumped on the bandwagon along with the Jelena shippers and commented, quote, "If you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans, they love you." I guess Justin didn't appreciate Selena jumping in saying, quote, "It's funny to see people that used me for attention and still try and point the finger this way. Sad, all love." Oof. Well, Selena hit back again saying, "Funny how the ones that cheated multiple times are pointing the finger at the ones that were forgiving and supportive. No wonder fans are mad, sad, all love." Shade. I love how they use each other's words against them. Like, that's so shady. Well, this instance isn't the only time there's been hostility between them and their partners. Justin also got into a fight with Orlando Bloom after being seen with Selena and had some harsh words for The Weeknd during that weird time too. Glad this Jelena phase is over though. Don't need any more of that drama. Finally in at number 1, everyone who has ever dated Taylor Swift. I'm gonna keep this one brief because I'm pretty sure you know what's happening here. Whenever Taylor endures a breakup, it's bound to be featured in her next album. Though her fans always enjoy her music and love picking apart her lyrics to decipher who each song is about, turns out her exes aren't quite fans of that. We've seen some of her exes talk about their feelings about having their relationships with Taylor come out in song. Taylor Lautner once said that he wasn't a fan of the music, and same with John Mayer. I'm just saying that Taylor's exes probably have a little hostility towards her once her music drops. I'm pretty sure they're holding their breath as soon as she announces a new album, like, is it gonna be me this time? At number 10, Sam Smith and Jonathan Zylka. Now for this couple, I don't know if I'd say they hate each other, but there's definitely some shade, so this counts enough for me to include it. Also, the shade here is kinda juicy, so I just had to talk about it. Sam Smith went official with Jonathan back in early 2015, just for them to break up shortly after confirming their relationship. Though the public was only made aware of their relationship for a short time, they must have spent a lot of time together prior, since Sam wrote a lot about him and his dating Jonathan. It seems like their breakup did wonders for Sam's music career, though we haven't been made aware of many specifics about their relationship. Since Sam wrote so much about their relationship, his album containing these details wound up winning him Record of the Year. During his acceptance speech for this award, Sam said, quote, "Just a quick one, I want to thank the man who this record is about, who I fell in love with last year. Thank you for breaking my heart because you got me 4 Grammys. The shade, but also true though. Sometimes you just need to get your heart broken to evolve and be better. At number 9, Naomi Campbell and Vladislav Doronin. Naomi Campbell and ex Vladislav are not at all on good terms following their breakup. Turns out there may have been some theft going on after they broke up, and now they're suing each other. This is a classic case of he said, she said in the courts. Naomi originally sued her ex because she claimed that he stole some of her belongings after their breakup, but now Vladislav is copping back by throwing a countersuit in Naomi's face, claiming that the situation is actually the other way around and that Naomi actually stole from him. Really, I don't know what to believe, but the bottom line here is that there's some serious animosity. The pair broke up all the way back in 2013 and are only now being sued, so obviously there have been some tensions this whole time. They're both so rich that they honestly could have just brushed it aside, but I don't know, man, there seems to be something else going on here other than just theft to have them at each other's throats this whole time. At number 8, Rihanna and most of her exes. Rihanna is one of the most boss-ass B-words in the industry, hands down. She's a strong, independent woman who puts her needs first and takes no nonsense from anyone, and I wholeheartedly admire that. One of the things that I admire about Riri is her composure when it comes to her relationships. When a relationship ends, she doesn't dwell on the past and she just moves on with her life. Even after her breakup with billionaire Hassan Jamil, she just walked away and continued on with herself. When people judge Rihanna for breaking up with her partners, they kinda sound dumb, to be honest. I mean, obviously Rihanna is in these relationships for the partner, and if she doesn't feel like it's satisfactory, she's gonna leave, period. It doesn't matter if they have money or status. But even if she doesn't dwell on the past, that doesn't mean she doesn't say anything about her relationships. In an instance of subtle shade towards her exes, Rihanna said, quote, "None of my exes are married or in happy relationships, so it's safe to say that I wasn't the problem, lol." Nuff said, Ree. Nuff said. Coming in at number 7, Katy Perry and Russell Brand. Does anyone else remember when Russell Brand broke up with Katy Perry over text? If you've ever been dumped over text, you know how much that hurts. Like, come on, at least tell me to my face. Now imagine how much it would suck to have someone tell you that they're divorcing you over text just before going to perform for a concert. That's what happened to Katy Perry, so honestly, there's no wonder why she hates this guy. Apparently, Russell even said in a stand-up routine that after he was divorced, he was going to become a monk since they get about the same amount of, action as he did with Perry. He also said that during said action, he would think about other women. Like, that's just not cool. Not cool. I mean, at this point, their whole relationship is all water under the bridge. Their marriage only lasted 14 months and they've gone their separate ways. Katie is now with Orlando Bloom and they have a cute little baby together, and Russell's also living his life with a new partner. But my goodness, there were some bad vibes from them at first. Also, did you know that after he texted Katie that he was leaving her, he just like didn't talk to her ever again? Like, what the dude, that's not cool. At number 6, Lucy Hale and Chris Zylka. Lucy and Chris dated briefly back in 2012, and following the split, there was some animosity. Though Lucy never reportedly said anything about her ex, Chris said plenty. After a fan tweeted at Chris saying that his girlfriend, this being Lucy, was gorgeous, instead of replying with a compliment or anything nice really, he instead replied with, quote, "Don't have a girlfriend, she decided she was too good." Yikes, dude. I guess their breakup wasn't exactly mutual. He then went on to pose the idea that Lucy was just trying to social climb and used him for status in the relationship, then tweeted, quote, "There's a difference between celebrities and movie stars. Celebrities fade away while movie stars stick around forever." I don't know about you guys, but this sounds a little bit salty. Just a tad. At number 5, Marilyn Manson. I'm sure that by now you are all familiar with what went down with Marilyn Manson last year. The singer was exposed for having hurt a number of his former partners, and the information that has come out detailing some of his actions really show how much he crossed the line with these women. It all started when actress Evan Rachel Wood posted a statement on her Instagram exposing Marilyn for hurting her while they were together. In her statement, Evan called Marilyn manipulative and even brought up how he brainwashed her and caused her so much pain while they were together. Sadly, Evan isn't the only person who's come forward with horrific stories about the singer. Another public figure who's come forward is Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco, who told sources about some of the things that she endured while with him. Now, because he crossed the line following this scandal, Manson was dropped from his music label and an investigation was launched by the LA County Sheriff's Department looking into some of the allegations against the singer. At number 4, Charlie Sheen and Brett Rossi. Charlie Sheen has been sued by his ex Brett Rossi. That's how you know when you hate your ex. You sue them. But it's for good reason. Rossi sued the former 2.5 Men star back in 2015 for allegedly hiding his HIV status from her while they were in a relationship, as well as allegedly forcing her to get an abortion while they were together. Rossi also alleged that she was abusive towards her on multiple occasions. Despite originally saying that she would settle when Sheen offered $1 million as settlement, she later went back on that deal and decided to take him to court for the allegations instead. After hearing the things that Rossi was accusing Charlie of, I'm honestly not surprised that she engaged in a legal battle. The details of her allegations towards him are pretty serious and brutal, so it's quite understandable why she would hate him. Coming in at number 3, Rob Kardashian. Just Rob Kardashian. Rob Kardashian has a sort of reputation for being a little hostile towards his exes. Now, as I was doing the research for this video, I came to the conclusion that even though Rob is pretty shady to his exes, the women he dated don't have shining reviews for him either. So even though he's on his high horse saying how all of his exes are SLUTS's and how he's been cheated on by all of them and just kind of talks trash about them, they've also had some things to say about him in return. Most notably, his ex Rita Ora once said that his little buddy downstairs was kind of whack and that she had to, quote, get it from somewhere else. Harsh. Apparently what Rob said in response to his falling out with his baby mama Blac Chyna was so bad and damaging to her career that she even sued him and his family for defamation and damages to her brand. There's some serious hatefulness going on over there. At number 2, Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson. At the time, Ariana and Pete's relationship/engagement was cute, but after their breakup, that's when things kind of turned ugly. When they called off their engagement, Ariana told press that her relationship with Pete was a, quote, distraction, frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic. Pete has also gotten some jabs in there through his comedy show, saying that if he had done what Ariana did by, quote, spray painting himself brown and hopping on the cover of Vogue and talking about his ex, then his career would be over. Harsh. The back and forth never really stopped as they seemed to casually talk about each other. Ariana claimed that Pete never stopped talking about the relationship for relevance, tweeting, quote, for someone who claims to hate relevancy, you sure love clinging to it, huh? Saltiness all around, guys. Through songs and comedy specials, their relationship sure did a lot for them career-wise, but not so much emotionally, it seems. And finally at number 1, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. Mariah and Nick's relationship seemed pretty okay until their divorce in 2014. Though they cited that their breakup got messy because emotions got in the way, specifically regarding their kids, some think that something messier took place. While performing in Tokyo in 2014, Mariah took the first swing at Nick while singing Billie Holiday's song Don't Explain. The song that is already about infidelity had its lyrics changed by Mariah from I know you cheat, right or wrong don't matter to I know you cheated, mother effer. I mean, does it get any worse than that? It really doesn't. She literally called Nick out on stage for cheating in front of a lot of people. That's some hatefulness right there, people. Enough said. At number 10, Johnny Depp. Amber Heard got exposed in 2021, but not for what you might think. In 2020, we saw Amber in the news for being exposed for being a horrible person in her relationship with Johnny Depp, but last year we saw her getting exposed for lying. As some of you may recall, when Johnny and Amber first divorced, they reached a settlement of about $7 million to be paid to Amber, and when she received that money, she claimed that she would split the money and donate it to 2 charities, the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and the American Civil Liberties Union. Now, Johnny Johnny Depp has called her out for lying about donating the money and claims that she just pocketed most of it. Though Johnny's lawyers tried speaking with the ACLU about Amber's donation, they never made a comment, but the Children's Hospital said that the donation that they received from Amber was a total of $100,000, much less than the $3.5 million that she promised them. At number 9, Anna Faris. During an episode of Anna Faris' podcast, she sat down with actress Gwyneth Paltrow and had a conversation about marriage. Anna asked Gwyneth if her, quote, taste in partners has changed throughout the decades of her life, to which she replied that her new partner is different in the sense that he helps her be more honest with herself. Anna replied saying that she never had that sense of honesty in her previous marriage to Chris Pratt. She then went on to essentially expose him for the way things were in their marriage and how this lack of emotional honesty caused, quote, competitiveness and comparison in the relationship. Chris and Anna had been together for 9 years before divorcing in 2017, and though there isn't much information about why they broke up, there is speculation, and Anna's comments about emotions and honesty between partners may add to fans' interpretations of their marriage. Before we carry on talking about the celebrities who've exposed their past partners, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer had quite an eventful year last year for all the wrong reasons. Just a quick recap of the scandal, Armie was exposed in January of last year for his unorthodox bedroom fantasies such as eating people and sexual non-consent. As a result of this, Armie lost work, having been dropped from 2 film projects, and he's also been dropped by his talent agency and publicist. After that, Armie started being investigated by the LAPD for an alleged incident that could potentially see him serving jail time if found guilty. This has all come out because a woman who claimed to have been romantically involved with Armie alleged that he forced himself upon her without her consent. This woman, known as Effie, gave a statement saying that she was harmed by him on a mental, physical, and emotional level during her on and off relationship with the actor, and that she was subjected to unwanted relations with him for over 4 hours. He was once again exposed for his actions, this time on a more severe level, as he now faces potential legal repercussions. At number 7, Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray. Sophia and Chad were one of the hottest couples of the early 2000s. After meeting on the set of their show One Tree Hill, the two were engaged and wed in 2005. But only after 5 months of marriage, they split up, and there's been tensions ever since. Sophia once said that she never wanted to marry Chad in the first place, and that it was the people around her as well as the One Tree Hill producers who pressured her into the marriage and said that the whole thing was a bad idea. When asked about her relationship with Chad in an interview with Andy Cohen, she said, quote, "My mother said to me that if you don't have anything nice to say, not to say anything at all." Yikes. Obviously, she still has some hard feelings towards her ex. At number 6, Kenya Duke. After nearly 20 years of marriage, it was all over in an instant. Kenya Duke, wife of Gary Owens, filed for divorce in March this year, making allegations that her husband had been unfaithful in their marriage. After news broke of their divorce filing, Kenya took to her Instagram to expose her husband for having an affair with a woman from Dallas, someone who was a mutual friend with Gary and reality TV star Claudia Jordan. In her now deleted Instagram post, Kenya sent a message to the other woman, whom she calls Dallas, Texas, saying, quote, "Dallas, Texas, I have your info. I'm going to deal with you in a minute. I'm a little busy now. You can have him, but you can't disrespect me and my kids in the process. At Gary Owen Comedy, let her know a storm is coming. You should know better. Married, not separated. Married." End quote. Kenya also followed this message up with one that was meant for her husband, where she said, quote, "All the energy you spent lying, acting, and creating a fake narrative for these women that want to be me, you could have done it with a veggie burger and a glass of fake filtered water." End quote. To make matters messier, Claudia Jordan, who was allegedly mutual friends with Gary's mistress, took to her social media to clear her name in the scandal, saying that she doesn't have a friend from Dallas, implying that she doesn't know who this other woman is, and that she was not aware of any affair that Gary had been having. Halfway through in number 5, Sofia Vergara and Nick Loeb. This one was messy. Basically, Modern Family star Sofia Vergara and her ex-husband Nick Loeb had a messy divorce and even messier custody battle because of their potential offspring. Yes, that's right, I said potential. Basically, what happened here is that while they were together, they had embryos frozen for their later use to start a family. But since they were getting divorced, they had to sort of divide up their frozen progeny, and Nick wanted them for himself. He even went so far as to file a right-to-life lawsuit against Sofia because she wouldn't let him have the embryos, and he even went out of his way to find a potential surrogate, tried to implant the embryos in her, and created a trust fund for the kids. Talk about petty. Like, he really said, if you won't let me have them frozen, I'll thaw them out and raise them as my own. Fortunately for Sophia's legal case, his actions led him to breaking the terms of their contract, and so he ended up the creek without a paddle, so to speak. But yeah, imagine being so upset with your ex that you go to the lengths that this guy did. Phew. At number 4, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson's relationship took a lot of people by surprise. It was short, it was intense, and the breakup was messy too. The two started dating in May of 2018, and by late June they were engaged. They fell for each other so quickly, moving in together and planning their lives together as well. But things ended just as quickly as they began, and by October they were done. After getting tattoos dedicated to each other, they were quickly covered up, and soon the shade began. Shortly after news of their breakup was broadcast, Pete poked fun at his failed relationship in a comedy set. Ariana then moved on to subtweeting her ex for shading her, and she even included a reference to their relationship in their song Thank You Next. There was some back and forth shading and dissing each other in more jokes and music, but that all seems to be over now. The shade was pretty serious, and it was kind of exposing something about the both of them, so overall this was just one big mess. At number 3, Kim K and Kris Humphries. Though nowadays we rarely, if ever, hear stories come out about Kim K and her very brief marriage to Kris Humphries, there are still some instances where Kris will come out with some shade about his short-lived relationship. The two were married in August 2011, but divorced just 72 days later. The basketball star has been sort of bitter since the split and has even alleged that Kim was cheating on him with Kanye from the beginning. In the past, Kris has said that since the split, he's been focusing on things that he can control, as a bit of a shady nod to Kim's flip-flopping in the relationship. And even after Kim's internet-breaking Paper Magazine spread, he has said, quote, "I'm not someone who's paying attention to things that don't really matter in my world." Kris has said that following their divorce, he was really hated by Kim's fans and that he was in a dark place in the aftermath of their marriage. He's pretty upset at the whole situation. It seems like maybe not directly because of Kim, but because of the situation and its publicity. At number 2, Caitlyn Jenner. The family's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians had been on air for so long that it almost felt like it had been on TV forever. Obviously, it wasn't actually on TV since the beginning of time, but it was certainly a staple in a lot of people's homes. This show really boosted the careers of all the Kardashians, but who had the original idea for the show? Well, that's something that Caitlyn Jenner exposed. According to Caitlyn, she wrote in her book that she was the one who came up with the initial idea for the reality show, not Kris, as many were led to believe. In the memoir, Caitlyn wrote that she told Kris about her idea for the show, saying, quote, "The house is awash in puberty and adolescence and young adulthood, and two parents with very different styles. It seems to me something is there for television," end quote. She then goes on to say that Kris claimed to have come up with the idea for the show, then took it upon herself to pitch the show to Ryan Seacrest, and the rest is history. Caitlyn basically exposed Kris for taking all the credit for what made them famous. And finally, at number 1, Sam Smith. Sam Smith went official with Jonathan Ezekiel back in early 2015, just for them to break up just shortly after confirming their relationship. Though the public was only made aware of their relationship for a short time, they must have spent a lot of time together prior to then, since Sam wrote a lot about him and dating Jonathan. It seems like their breakup did wonders for Sam's career, since we haven't been made aware of any specifics of their relationship. Since Sam wrote so much about their relationship that their album containing these details wound up winning them Record of the Year. During Sam's acceptance speech for the award, Sam said, quote, "Just a quick one, I want to thank the man who this record is about, who I fell in love with last year. Thank you so much for breaking my heart, because you got me 4 Grammys. The shade, but also true though. It was a subtle exposure, making people think that there was some big falling out, but that just added to the drama of Hollywood.